maybe you could talk about your creative process in creating ASMR, and like also could maybe you could talk about when you're making a song and like just compare the two, perhaps. Take us
Oh,
from
that's
nothing to something.
Sometimes you have no idea what you're doing at the beginning. Like a painter might know what they want to paint. Then you just start throwing things at the canvas, and all of a sudden you've
mhm.
got this thing, and then you can edit it. And then you can be like, okay, that's what this is. And then you can like say, okay, I'm gonna put a background that matches this, and almost like improv, but you're like building the set afterwards. And like so that there's a scene that arises later.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of
Mm-hmm.
that's for me.
For me, actually, I'm a lot more planned when I'm making music. When I'm making, sorry, opposite, complete opposite. I'm a lot more planned when I'm making ASMR. But when I'm about to make a track, I just pick up my violin and just start playing. I choose maybe a key and I'll just try and play. And I've got my Ableton recording, and then I go in afterwards and say, right, okay, what have I played here? And then I try and make a track from that. So it's very random. I don't really have a mood in mind if I choose a certain key, but my ASMR is a lot more planned, and I know what I'm going to go in and do and what I'm hopefully going to achieve afterwards, and I know what's going to be involved. So yeah, that's how
Yeah.
I do it, which is quite interesting to hear how Reina does it.
Yeah, I think for me it's kind of similar. So I've got like I mean I write a lot of different kinds of music, so it depends on what I'm writing for music. If it's something that's more of like a rock driven track or something, usually I've already got stuff that I've either like hummed into my phone that I've recorded. So I've got like a motif, or I've got like melodies already that I can work off of. If I'm composing something more traditional or just using virtual instruments, usually I'll just play around with something till I hear something I like and I'll just go. And then with
Mm-hmm.
ASMR, it depends on. So I've only got like 3 different types of videos I do. I have just trigger ones, which is like random triggers, whatever ones I happen to pick. Or I've got tutorials, or I've got the only role play I do, which is where I'm reacting to other role plays, which is really fun. So I kind of know what I'm doing before I sit down to record. I've already kind of got a goal in mind, and that helps. But once, like with the trigger videos, once I start going, it's pretty random. I'll just kind of like hit or tap or scratch stuff, and if I like it, I'll keep doing it, and I'll move on to the next thing, whatever.
Yeah. I can definitely relate to the having something already like you can just pick up an instrument in music, and when you've played an instrument for a while, there's a certain style, there's a certain like finger positions that you're used to. It's like all muscle memory basically. So you can start there. You can just do your thing that you've always done, and then maybe create something that's interesting, and then I mean, in music there's the instrument side of it. Maybe it depends on the style, like Ian said, but there's the instrument side, and then there's the production side, right? So you can change a song completely once you put it into the DAW. Uh, so an idea can change like 180 do 180 degrees in the producing stage. And even while you're producing and when you're mastering the track, well, not in the mastering anymore, the mastering has to be fixed, but at least in the mixing stage, you can still change a lot of stuff. But with ASMR, it's not like that. I think in ASMR, again, it depends. If you're doing a trigger video, you're just going through the motions most of the time. I mean, you're just doing the triggers, right? But if you're doing a role play, yeah, that's a whole different process. For me, I write scripts most of the time because otherwise I forget completely what I'm talking about. And then comes the acting part, and yeah. So there's the I think the idea process, the process of getting ideas is pretty similar, in that you can rely on some stuff sometimes, but sometimes it just comes from nowhere. Like you just have an idea out of nowhere and then you write it down. At least that's how it is for me.